Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. What is today? Friday. Guys, it's Friday. Means the week is over. You just have a little bit more to go. Or you could just leave early today. Just tell the bosses, you know what? I have to leave early today. So I have some good ones, I think. The audio today isn't exceptional, but it's good enough. Um I have a full blown fight in Judge King you might have already seen before, so I'll put that near the end. So if you want to dip, because you already saw it, that's fine. But I don't think the other ones that have been going around. So let's judges just leave the bench today. They're just angry and they just leave the bench. This one, I kind of understand where she's coming from and not the judge. I mean, I get why the judge is frustrated, but I think I'm more on her side. You guys tell me what you think. Here we go. I don't know where we are.
And wait for Mr. Clint out in the hallway. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stanley.
He's going to try to walk forward.
They want you to go that way. Ever since that dude hurdled the bench, they don't want me to let anybody come forward anymore. Okay. You can look it on YouTube. It's crazy.
I had to leave that part in.
That's Mr. Stanley. Appointed public defender. And reset. Okay. All right, next plea is ready. Stevens.
I can't make it bigger. That's how it
Ms.
shows.
Williams, is that you, ma'am?
Yes.
You'll come up to the podium. Let's talk through what we're doing here. All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, and state your full name for me.
Sabrina Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, you are here on two cases. You have 22 SR 1537 and 22 SR 1538. It's my memory from counter call this morning that you would like me to place you down for a jury trial on each of your charges. Is that correct?
Yeah, but what are those charges?
Okay, that's a great question. Let's review those. Um, It's your birthday.
11/7/79.
Okay.
A little bit too old for that.
Yeah, the reason I'm confused is that you have a couple of older cases that are showing open. I'm trying to make certain that,
What do you mean?
just give me a second.
Okay.
All right, that one's okay.
I haven't been in trouble in a while.
What happened with your felony case upstairs?
Fulfilling case.
23R15,
What's that?
theft by receiving stolen property?
Oh, that was 7 years ago.
No, 21R15, 23R15,
What is 23R15? What do you?
2023. You had court this year.
No, I did not.
You're Sabrina Ann Williams?
No, I'm not. I'm Sabrina Williams. No middle initial. That's the problem that we had last time when I came here from Oklahoma. That's
You
not-
have no middle name at all?
No, sir, I do not. Am I supposed to?
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. This is why we're talking. So this is exactly where we do this moment. So,
Okay,
Okay, now I'm seeing what you're saying. Okay, so I've got that corrected now. Okay, I've got that corrected now. So you and I are clear that you only have 2 misdemeanors pending. And unlike the other Sabrina Williams who is giving you a bad name, you are correct in that
right,
you had a couple of traffic tickets in the last several years that were all minor. Your last decently serious case was a felony 15R132, exactly as you described. So,
right.
okay, we're back on the same page. So let's start with your request for information on your charges. Starting with 22 SR 1537, you have 6 charges on this case. The accusation is that you did here in Spalding County back on October 23rd of 2020, and again, this is 22 SR 1537. Did commit the offense of reckless driving, count 1, by unlawfully driving your motor vehicle with a reckless disregard for the safety of persons and property.
What does that mean?
It means that the officer believed that you were committing, the easiest way to think of reckless driving is it's committing 2 or more minor offenses at the same time. So let's say, I'm just gonna make this up, I have no idea about your case. Let's say you're driving your vehicle and you're speeding and you run a stop sign. So you're speeding and you run a stop sign. That's a really good reckless driving. Let's say you are speeding and you fail to turn on your blinker and you run through a light and you hit somebody. That's a very good reckless driving. What is yours? No idea, but that's what that is. Count 2, obstruction of an officer. It says that you did kick the car doors of Officer Daniel. All right, count 3, disorderly conduct, that you acted in a violent, tumultuous manner towards Patrolman Ryan Doherty. Count 4, failure to maintain lane, and that you failed to keep your vehicle within a single lane of travel.
Is that the first 7 or the second 7? Sounds like the second 7 mixed in with the first 7.
I don't know, I'm just reading the accusation in 22 SR 1537.
Those, okay, I got my first 7 that they claim, the first date. The second one is a later date, so it should be 7.
Well, all of these are October 23rd of 2020.
I don't see it because that's not,
Well, we're not here to decide.
okay, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you're getting ahead of me.
Yeah.
All I'm
I'm trying to figure out how they got it citated,
Sure.
because it's all wrong.
Well, and you declined a conference, that's exactly how you find out that information, is you speak with the state and they explain to you how it is, but I don't show that you want a conference.
No, the thing is that it's been so long since I've been in this courtroom that I don't know how it works anymore, and I tend not to.
Well, I literally just
Coming
went through the
back.
most boring and
Like-
informative PowerPoint ever so that you could know how all of this works.
Okay, so I don't know what a conference is, but I mean, like, having a sit-down conversation, that's fine. But I did ask for one from, the sheriff over here, and I wouldn't mind having one just to see what they have to say.
Okay.
Don't mean to upset
Sorry.
you.
The body language you're reading from me right now
Right,
is that when people come in here and they say, I don't understand how this works, it is irritating to me because,
this is new.
okay, please don't interrupt me.
Okay,
Let's not do that.
okay, I apologize.
Thank you. Because I sit here and go through, as I said, the most boring and informative PowerPoint you have ever seen in your life that I've worked on forever to make certain that everybody can both see and hear what their options are, what their choices are.
Right,
And I literally left up on the wall a very huge PowerPoint that said you can have a jury trial, you can have a
Right.
bench trial, you can have a conference, you can ask for an attorney. You chose jury trial, and now you're sitting here telling me you didn't even understand how the conference option was, and that's frustrating to me. Can you see how that's frustrating to me?
yes, but it's even more frustrating for me when I can't ask you questions when you're talking.
What?
You know, like when you did when you was reading it off.
We're talking now.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm asking you now. Like I had to ask the public defenders, can I get a conference with a jury trial? Like I don't know how it works. I'm asking. Is that possible?
Okay.
Do you mind having patience with me?
Have you had a conference?
No, I've never had a conference. I just went straight to jail. That's it. Like never in my life. This time I'm standing up though for myself. I've never in my life gone through this.
Did you speak with the solicitor's office back?
I did not. I walked back there. I didn't make it to the back.
Okay. Listen, I asked you a direct question. Did you talk to the solicitor's office?
No, sir, I did
You
not.
said you did not, and then you said you walked back there to talk to them.
She just walked me back there because she was like, what did she say? I was thinking that I was gonna be talking to the public defender, but it wasn't them. That's when I came back and asked him. I told him that I didn't want to talk to them, but now that I've asked questions with people out here and I spoke with a few public defenders, they said that I should, talk to them just to see what's going on. I don't mean for you to get all frustrated and bang on your desk up there. I'm sorry, I apologize.
You keep giving me contradictory answers that I can't do anything with. Here's the deal. If I can't figure out what you want to do with your case, I'm going to do something with your case, which is I'm going to put you down for a jury trial, and we're just going to let a jury sort this out.
Well, I don't want you to do it while you're angry.
It doesn't matter whether I'm angry or not. What matters is what the jury thinks of your case.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, I keep asking you very direct, very simple questions.
Right.
You are giving me evasive, non-responsive, and confusing answers that are making me more confused about what's going on with your case than when we started. So you're telling me you never had a conference and that you've never talked to the solicitor. Then you're saying you went back there only after my team all started talking to me.
And that's all true.
And only after my team all started telling me that what you're saying is not true. So here's the deal. This is what we're going to do. Do you want to represent yourself at trial, or do you wish to have an attorney?
I'm going to get an attorney.
Okay. I'm going to note for the record that you were here on this calendar. You were given an opportunity to apply for the public defender's office on.
You got me what now?
I'm going to put that you had an opportunity to apply with the public defender's office on August 23rd of 2023. Did you apply with them on that date?
August 23rd? No, I did not.
Do you intend on applying with the public defender's office?
Maybe, maybe not. I might just, I don't know, pay for one. But I got both cars today.
I show, according to my notes from that court date, that you requested that I give you an opportunity to fill out an application with the public defender's office.
That's when they thought I was Sabrina Ann Williams.
No, I mean when you, Sabrina Williams, we're not talking about Ann anymore.
I did a virtual with you.
I see that. I'm looking at that.
Right.
So you appeared virtually. You gave me 2 different phone numbers. You asked me for a jury trial, and you asked me to allow you to apply with the public defender's office.
And when I called and spoke with them, they gave me nothing.
Did you send in an application with the public defender's
No,
office?
I was in Oklahoma, sir.
Well, I find the fact that you're in Oklahoma has nothing to do with whether or not you've submitted an application to the public defender's office.
I mean, I don't think I didn't do it online. I called first. So I knew I was flying back over here. So I figured, I would go. But like I said, I got 2 numbers today. And I feel like I haven't lied about anything.
Okay.
So if I need more time, will that be possible for a continuance? I'm asking. If the attorney that I get needs more time?
I haven't made that decision
Okay.
yet.
No, I've never spoken. What's your name?
Sabrina
Sabrina what?
Williams.
Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't speak to you today.
No, I didn't speak to anyone back there.
Oh, you're the one that said you wanted a conference and then.
Yeah, changed my mind. Right.
Yes, I got 3 knowledge.
Because I don't know how it works.
And I think the attorney was here waiting.
Yeah, that's on the interpreter one, so we'll have.
I don't believe we're gonna need the interpreter because we're just gonna go to court.
Okay,
That's my answer.
and that'll take all right, as soon as Judge finishes
Yeah.
this one, we can. Because yours is gonna have to have an interpreter at the trial, so. it'll be-
Yes.
Yeah. So that won't be happening in 2 weeks, so just get all that lined up.
All right. Ms. Williams, I'm gonna step off the bench just for a minute.
Okay.
This is the plea of not guilty and a demand for a jury trial on 22 SR 1538, which has an incident date of March 16th of 2021.
You talking about stepping off the bench as in changing the date?
Nope, I mean, I'm gonna physically remove myself from this courtroom for a minute,
Oh,
take a deep breath that you asked me to take, and then I'm gonna come back and address. While I'm doing that, you're gonna stand right there and you're gonna look at that document. And
okay.
I'm gonna print this other one and do the same thing. And that way you will have time to look at your documents while I am back there taking a deep breath,
Okay.
which I think is in both of our best interests.
So,
Nope, we do not need to continue this conversation right now. I'm
okay.
telling you what I'm going to do. And then we're
Okay.
both gonna very quietly retreat to our corners and do those things.
Okay.
Mr. Shepherd, will you take a look at 22 SR 1530? No, I see what I've done wrong. You don't need to do anything.
I thought it was 14. It's just only 6.
Ms. Williams, I'm not sure what part of you and I are not going to talk for a little bit. You're having trouble understanding.
Yes.
Okay, so it stops there abruptly because he leaves the courtroom. She goes into that corner. But then when he comes back out, he completely ignores her. He doesn't say a word to her. He calls another case, another case, another case. She's sitting over there. Finally, when all the cases are done, the time ran out, and he's like, Sabrina or Miss Williams or whatever, he's like, we'll have to finish yours tomorrow. And then that was it. And that woman just laid there. And I feel for her because she did have questions and there was no one to ask, but she did have opportunities to ask people questions. She just chose not to ask those people. But she's going to get a jury trial. I don't think she's going to get a conference. I highly doubt she's going to hire a lawyer because this is the second time she's been in front of him and she still doesn't have a lawyer. But I thought he was funny because, you know, she's like, I have questions. He goes, so that's why we're talking. But when she asked a question, he got mad because she didn't understand his PowerPoint. And his PowerPoint, let me tell you, is extremely long. It is not a short one. Oh, okay. I said I was going to put Judge King at the end, but this judge just walked off the bench. Let's go to Judge King where he leaves the bench too. Let's go out of order.
22-1 proceeded from this injury through the lower lip. Again, there was a penetrating entrance done.
So I left the beginning in so you could just see it was just a normal trial, boring, blah, blah, blah. And I am going to stop this video at one point just to make sure you see something.
Gunshot wound on the left lower lip. The wound track proceeded from this injury through the lower lip. Again, skipping some verbiage here. The wound track was from front to back, left to right, and upward. The deformed non-jacketed bullet was recovered from the head and retained. There was also a perforating entrance gunshot wound on the right chest. And some verbiage.
Have a seat.
So Judge King left the bench, right? Well, you would think a smart judge would go back to his chambers and wait. No. This man right, I don't know if you can see him right there in the screen. That's Judge King running into the fight while walking.
Is everybody going out? Come on, let's go. What happened?
The last case, either sides are arguing up there. No, but each other, the victims, the families and stuff. Yeah. Right, yeah.
I was worried about them all saying.
Yeah, I was wondering. That's why I not our case.
Come on, go this way. No, This way, go this way. It's in the, I see it's in the defendant there. You have a seat right here. Right here.
There's Judge King walking back in.
I'm gonna need at least 2 case numbers for contempt of court.
Judge, can I just explain? I feel like I partially got the ball rolling on this incident on accident. I just heard someone in the witness room yelling, so I opened the door to make sure they were okay. And then the family came over, and that's kind of how the two were brought together because I opened the door.
No, they lying. That's not how it started.
And then there was kind of argument from there.
Nobody's talking to you.
So there was not an original fight until I opened the door, and it kind of escalated from there.
So who came to the door?
The girl, she was standing.
Again, nobody's talking to you.
Judge, I would indicate the family member that did come over to the door to me was just a family member that was concerned because we thought something was happening in the witness room. We just heard a female yelling. I thought it was one of APA Hits' witnesses and something was happening. So we both came to the door to make sure whoever was in there was okay. And that's why that family member had come to the door.
So what happened when they came to the door?
There was an argument.
So I want that family member. Who was that family member? Where is she?
They wasn't gonna get her.
Okay, I want her.
I called downstairs.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Jasmine.
Date of birth?
Seven oh five oh three. What's her name? Jasmine Lockett. Is that with a Z or S?
Tell me your name, man.
Veronica Johnson, Anya Boyd K.
Veronica Johnson.
Anya Boyd K, yes.
Spell that for me.
Johnson hyphen ANYA BUIKE.
Your date of birth?
May 17, 1971.
What was it?
Who's gonna be staying with us as well?
Put handcuffs on me?
Excuse me?
You said put handcuffs on me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Officer, 5403.
So it's probably too late to have the attorneys for these ladies, so we'll probably have to take their matters up tomorrow.
I would assume then they'll have some sort of personal bond or cognizance.
Oh, no.
I'm very certain Ms. Lockett's going to appear. She appeared for court today. I'm sure Ms. Johnson will come back. This is her son's homicide case. Judge, I don't feel like they need to be held over.
You don't disturb my proceedings while I'm trying to conduct business in here. You don't bring that foolishness down here, period. I don't care what side you fall on. And I explained that before we even got started. Take that foolishness somewhere else. You wouldn't do that in any suburban car. You're not going to do it here either.
I did nothing.
I saw you with my own eyes.
See, he saw her.
No disrespect, but you was just not right. I wish you would let me tell you what happened.
You'll have an opportunity tomorrow to tell me what happened.
Thank you.
All right, they can go back. I got work to do.
Thank you for being fair. Give me my wallet. Take my money out.
Let me get one male officer. I got a male right here, please. Let me take her down.
I was in a private
Well, you
conversation.
put out the same time, so.
Okay. You can just take it. Excuse me. Have a question, Drew? Come on. So you don't have an opportunity for your mom. Stand right here. Don't move.
Whatever.
And Judge, I'm sure the court will take care of it, to make sure there's like a keep that record for the two.
Yes, they will. Come on.
My car is
Oh, okay.
No, move up out here, tell her. Right.
I live in a suburb. ANYABUITE. Watching my tax dollars, my voting rights.
Step out, go to the office. Mr. Hitchens, I'm sorry about the disturbance.
Not your fault,
Let's get started.
You don't mess around in King's Court. Everybody should know that by now. Everybody has seen him. And he ran right to the fight. Why does he do that? That made me so angry. Go to your chambers and you stay there. All right, after that fighting, let's look at something funny. This is Florida.
Okay, if you're in the gallery and you're represented by Mr. Kleins, if I just line him up, is that
Sure.
in the?
Yeah,
okay?
I mean,
If you're represented by Mr. Kleins, if you'll please stand in the aisle. As the whole-
so I don't want to turn around.
I don't want to turn around.
How about let's try this? If just like 5 of you want to stand up at a time, the rest of you can sit down.
No one is sitting down.
Filling it in, that'd be
We've
great.
already got him standing up now, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, my heart goes out for him. Could you imagine if that was your job? He had to prepare all of those cases today. Like, how would he have time to work on one of them? Investigate, ask questions of witnesses, anything. Nothing. He doesn't have time for any of that. That was crazy. All right, let's go to a Middleton-like situation. This isn't Judge Middleton, but it's you'll feel him talking in this.
Honestly, don't know yet.
Well, I don't know what that means. Do you have money saved or something, or?
Nah, it's tax time, so I might get some help, but that's not guaranteed because everybody got their own personal problem.
Do you have your own money saved right now?
Do not.
And I'm assuming you haven't already done your taxes.
No.
Do you have a bank account?
Kind of.
Is there any money in the kind of bank account?
Heck no.
Do you have anybody who could help you hire a lawyer?
That's what I'm going to try to work on.
But you haven't talked to anyone who said that they will?
No.
Okay, do you want me to appoint you to the public defender's office?
For now, but if I do end up hiring a lawyer, how does that work?
Hire the lawyer and then the public defender gets removed. But if you hire a lawyer, you need to do so as soon as possible so that the public defender doesn't spend a whole bunch of time just to be removed. They're busy and then, you don't want to waste their time. I know that. So I'll appoint you to the public defender's office. Do you know who your public defender is on your other cases yet? Do you know the name?
Not without looking at my...
Okay, Ethan Legg. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
Yes, okay, so it's Ethan Legg. And I need to see what court dates we've got. Your bond on this case is set at $3,000, 10% cash or surety. It'd be $300 to bond out. And there's a probation hold. However, the supplement that I just read to you does cover. And you shook your head earlier, so there is no warrant.
Right.
There would be. So I'm gonna lift the probation hold early. That's a gift to you. Mr. Coleman, I'm not necessarily picking on you, but you have to understand where I'm coming from, all right? What does that mean? Oh, I thought you were doing a drinking.
No.
I don't want you to say anything incriminating.
No, I was in school, man, and starting from the ground up. It's the same thing I told the officer. I mean, I'm gonna be a man about my situation. It is what it is. But like I told him, what am I supposed to do?
You need to get alternative transportation or get a ride, or or pursue, well, I don't care about I'm working on that.
I just started my job within a week. I don't have no money, so.
Then
what
you've
am I-
got to find a job. Listen, Mr. Coleman, I know it's easier said than done, and I guarantee you're thinking, that guy up there doesn't know what I'm going through, and he's just going to say things, he doesn't know how hard it is. You're probably right, but the best I can do for you right now is to tell you this. Get a job that you can walk to. Get a job you could ride a bicycle to. Get a job where you can use a Lyft or Uber, or perhaps use the trolley. Find a friend or a family member with a valid license who could maybe get you to work for a little while. Whatever it is you've got to do, you've got to do it. You can also pursue specialized driving privileges. I appointed you a lawyer. You can talk to Mr. Legg about possibly getting a hardship license or specialized driving privileges. But in the meantime, you cannot drive unless or until you have a valid license. End of story. End of story. No exception. No, what do I do? No, well, I'm just going to take a risk and it'll be okay if I tell them I'm going to work. No, and I'm sorry, Mr. Coleman. It might sound harsh, but it is what it is. Having the ability to drive is a privilege in our country. No one, including me, has a right to drive. We do not have the right to drive. You cannot drive without a valid license, and I don't know how to make it any clearer. And we now have a system in Indiana all over the state called the flock system. It's scanning people's licenses, taking pictures, and immediately notifying law enforcement if the registered driver has a suspended license. So you might even get caught if you drive without a license just by the flock system. So whatever you've got to do, do it. If you have to get up and I'm not trying to be funny here, Mr. Coleman, if you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to walk to your job, and it's a 2-hour walk, to make ends meet, do it. I've walked to work before. I've ridden a bike to work before. Just because I'm in this chair up here doesn't mean that I haven't had hard times in my past. And I had to figure out what I had to do so that I make money, I pay for myself, I support myself and or my family, and I don't commit a crime doing it. It's not as difficult as you might think it is. You got to think outside the box. I don't want to see your name again on my desk. I authorized a $3,000 bond on this. You can all but be guaranteed if there's a next time, and there shouldn't be, right? It's going to be exponentially more than 3,000. I'm not threatening you.
Oh, no.
I don't want that, and you don't want that.
No.
But this is getting old.
It is. Trust me, I know.
So you can bond out now for $300. Do not drive if you don't have a valid license.
Well, I give you my word.
What?
I give you my word, I won't.
You don't need to give you and your family your word, because you're taking yourself away from your family doing this.
Yeah.
If in fact you did it, and I don't want you to say anything incriminating. You're innocent unless or until you're proven guilty. Your next court date I see on the other case is January 30th. Yes, so I'm going to add a status hearing 1/30/2024 at 9 o'clock in the morning. I want to tell you one other thing, if it means anything. Now, I had a gentleman when we used to do financial compliance hearings. I'll never forget him. All he did was owe money, but he didn't have a license. And every time he had a hearing, and he lived all the way in Elkhart, he would walk all the way to the Goshen courthouse. You've got to do that if you don't have a license. People do it every day. Figure it out. That is a status to track with. We had, as total coincidence, we have a person in drug court right now whose last name is Coleman. He was living in work release. He would ride a bicycle from work release. He would leave at 3 in the morning and ride that bicycle all the way to Elkhart to hitch a ride with somebody because he had no license. And that guy would take him and they would carpool to work in Mishawaka. At 3 in the morning, he left to get to work on time. Then that guy would drive him back to Elkhart and drop him off, and Mr. Coleman would get on his bicycle and ride all the way back to work release in Goshen. I think I've made my point.
Good.
January, so it's to track with 20D04 2210 CM1703 and 20D04 . 2310 CM 1907. Do you have any other cases here in Elkhart County pending? I don't see any, but, huh?
No. The only other case I had was child support.
You know, you have court in Laport County on February 20th? Do you know that?
Yeah.
February 20th at 12:45, and they're on a different time zone. You gotta be there for that court date for a driving while suspended, or you're gonna have a warrant.
They also do Zoom.
Well, maybe, but don't miss that court date. Okay, and then I need to schedule an omnibus and further proceedings date. I'll do March 5th, 2024 at 9 o'clock in the morning.
What day was that again?
March 5th. She's gonna give it to you now. So your next court date on everything in these is January 30th at 9. Those were dates I already gave you on your other cases. Do you have any questions, Mr. Coleman?
I'll call if I do. Yeah, so you said I get the bond out?
Yes, I lifted the hold early. I lifted whatever's left of the hold to be $300 to bond out. You can bond out today. It'll be fine.
All right.
Stay in contact with the public defender.
I will.
Stay out of trouble. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Thanks for your help, officer.
So that's Indiana. And he has a case in Laport County next, which is frustrating to me because every day Laport County starts their live feed, and then every day they show nothing. Nothing at all. And they have, like, I don't know how it works in Indiana. I don't know exactly how it works, but most of the good cases get sent to Laport. They get sent to Laport. They get sent to Laport. And I can't get Laport. They just don't show anything. I'm going to call their manager one of these days. All right, let's go. I think this is Kentucky next.
Michael Ritchie.
The audio is not great, but it's not terrible.
Commonwealth versus Michael Ritchie. Mr. Reagan seems a little bit confused.
I was with me, yeah.
Commonwealth versus Michael Ritchie. Are you Michael Ritchie?
Yes.
Born in 1973. Last 4 digits of your social security number 48. You're here for a pretrial diversion revocation. What do you have, Mr. Stockton?
Your Honor, Mr. Ritchie's on, he has a 5-year sentence for wanton endangerment from when he pointed a gun in the direction of Melina Ritchie, who's the victim in this case. I filed a previous motion to revoke pretrial diversion because Miss Ritchie had gotten a against him saying that he was holding her and wouldn't let her get to her medical attention. We had a hearing on that, claiming that that was a forgery or whatever. But ultimately, after that hearing, the court ordered that Michael Ritchie was not to have any contact with Melina Ritchie. Well, Mr. Ritchie was arrested on December 18th because he'd been to her residence, had borrowed a car off of her. I don't doubt any doubt that he's been having contact with her because since he's been in jail, Miss Ritchie's called me, told me that he's her husband, she's not afraid of him, and she wants him with her because she's having health problems. So the only issue is we're going to be revoked because he violated the court's order, or is the court going to let them have contact? I mean, that's where we are.
Judge, Miss Ritchie's here. She has been in this courtroom a number of times to dismiss the underlying EPO DVO, to try to dismiss.
The weapon involved in
The first that caused the injury of complete.
How long has he been in jail?
Over 30 days. This time since December 18th when he was called down to her residence.
Is she here?
She is, Judge, and we have a trial set on the violations, February 22nd. The allegations most recently are that he was in a car that belongs to him that he has keys to.
There's an additional charge for violating the EPO, DVO, and district code. And that's.
Well, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens there. Still waiting for the jurors.
What does he mean by that?
You keep saying, keep moving up, maybe you're gonna be in jail.
I mean, what does he mean by jury?
What do you mean by jury?
So I go to court on Tuesday to have the EPO, DVO amended or to dismiss.
Right, they told me there's a jury trial set for it. Is that correct?
On the alleged assault and violations of the DVO, EPO. Been trying to draw for 6
But
months.
I don't care what she's been trying to do. I try to fly and I can't do that on occasion. Right now, there's a pending case in district court that's gonna be tried in front of a jury. Now, if you can get the prosecutor to keep you from, to keep the Commonwealth from protecting you, if that's what you want, if you don't want the protection of the Commonwealth, and you want to subject yourself to a continued relationship, there's not much I can do about that, but I'm not gonna do anything until I find out what that jury does or see what the district court does. And I'll probably go along with whatever the district court does, okay? Okay, thank you very much. Joseph Wallace.
Wallace.
Yes, she tried to tell the judge what she wants, and he said no. They'll be back. They'll be back over and over and over and over and over again. Let's stay in this courtroom. There's 2 cases here, one after another, that are interesting. So I left them in here. There's tears. Don't worry, there's tears.
Give me a summary for the residents.
Your Honor, this is our motion. It's combined indivisibility action and a suit to enforce judgment liens. And we are, we'll just tender a judgment order of sale.
We tried to pay him several times and he will not take the money.
Okay, what's your name?
Nancy Harden.
Sorry, somebody called.
Nancy Harden.
Where do you're Nancy Harden and husband Ernest Harden?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have paid someone that.
Yeah, well, you need to speak up.
I have paid on that and I only owe just a little on that.
How much you trying to claim?
Your Honor,
Is
it's
this
far more complicated than Ms. Harden understands.
Um,
Number one, if I may,
Move over just for a second and I'll let you come back.
Number one is the Haddix estate was owed money by Ms. Harden and her sister. Her sister's paid her part. Ms. Harden has paid some. She's credited for all that. Number two, David Cross has a lien on Tony Albertson's part. I want my money. Number three, Stephanie Myers is joined it as a plaintiff and wants it sold for indivisibility. So there's nothing she can do to stop it.
Stephanie said you was shoving her to sell it.
Do what?
Stephanie said that he was shoving her to sell it.
Well, that's, then he
And are you
he
allowed?
accomplished that then. So.
Are you allowed to?
Am I allowed?
No, what I'm
Yes, I
saying.
am.
No, what I'm saying. If you file bankruptcy in federal court, is someone allowed to go in to your stuff and pull that out your federal court and put it in these papers?
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't follow what you're saying. Did you file bankruptcy?
We did.
When?
It's been back probably 8 or 9 years.
This debt discharged?
It was, but it's in this right here.
Well, I can't read that. It's got
I'm going to go back. That's the law. No.
The $11,000 we filed bankruptcy against, and it's in these papers.
I don't know what those papers are. I can't allow people to come up here and say, in this envelope, it's kind of like Karnak that used to be on Johnny.
What, do you want to see it?
No, I don't really want to see it because I can't look at papers and interpret things for you. I mean, I just can't do that. Why don't you have an attorney?
Well, we've tried to get one and no one will go up against him.
Well, I can think of a lot of people. Yeah.
Wasn't any problem a while ago. Everybody else is up there against.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've tried to pay him, and like I said, he won't have it.
We've tried to pay him what?
What I owe him.
How much?
Whatever he's
How
asked.
much did you try to pay him?
Whatever he's asked for.
What? what do you want this woman to pay?
What? Let him tell me what he
Wait
wants.
just a second. That won't keep the property from being
I
sold.
think Miss Haddix is owed around $1,800 now. I'm not sure. We'd have to look at it. It's in the judgment.
But now the property be sold. This lady has an interest in the property, does she?
This lady has a third interest.
Third.
Her sister has a third interest.
Yeah.
Tony Alferson has a sixth interest. Stephanie Myers, Frank
So
Z's
the
daughter.
property, you don't want the property sold?
No, I don't,
Well,
because
but-
I promised my mama I would keep it on her
Well,
deathbed.
here's the problem is, that's a promise that would ultimately have to be broken by someone because every piece of property ultimately gets sold. Doesn't it? Sometime it'll be sold. And if there's one person that owns any of it now that wants to sell it, it's not, you haven't broken your promise.
Yes, but I've told him I will pay her for it. I'll pay her
Yeah,
for
but
whatever she wants.
Yeah, well, then you can buy it at the sale. And see, the thing about it is, if you buy it at the sale, you get your portion of it back. In other words, let's say it brought, what would it bring, Mr. Cross, piece of property?
Oh, it's hard. It might bring 15,000, might bring 20. I don't know.
Okay, if it brought 15,000, if you bid 15,000, you get your $5,000 worth of it if you own a third of it. Follow what I'm saying?
Yes, but I don't want it sold.
Well, you can't keep it from being sold if one of the parties wants it sold. And I will tell you what happens is it your sister that wants it sold? Is that who it is?
No, it's my niece.
Her niece, okay.
Because he's shoving her to
Well,
death.
yeah, well, she says that now, but that's quite frequently what people say. Well, honey, I would never do it, but that lawyer forced me to do
And it's not funny.
That's
it.
fine.
Do what?
I said it's not funny.
Who's laughing? No, I don't think it's funny. It's sad, but it quite frequently happens. People say that lawyer made me do it. I've seen it happen. So I will.
I mean, I will pay whatever.
Well, yeah, but you don't have a choice on jointly owned property. Mr. Cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
If this lady pays her debt, how much are you owed on it?
Oh, I think I'm owed 2,500, 3,000.
Yeah, well, and this guy that owes you the money, the defendant that
I
owes
will
you.
pay Tony's part. We told him we would
Your Honor,
pay Tony's
if I may
part.
interject, if you knew how many times I've met with these people and how many promises.
I'm just trying to find out how much, what this is
I know,
gonna bring
and
up
I'm
to
just-
sell.
I'm done. Okay,
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, well, you're not done, I'll tell you you're done.
Well,
So
I know.
just come back
As far as
around.
trying to work it.
See, now I'm trying to pay.
Now, here's the thing about it, it's not your debt, it's the only thing that's involved here. That's not your debt. Now, if you got a document that says you were discharged in bankruptcy from this debt, you should have filed an answer and say that this was discharged in bankruptcy. You've chosen not to get an attorney and not to file an answer. There's nothing in the file that you filed. Isn't that correct? You filed nothing. So I really don't have any choice but to sign the default judgment. I don't, but you can come, you'll be given plenty of notice of the sale of property and come to protect your interest in it. And Mr. Cross will probably be there and bid $2,500 or $30,000 or whatever to protect his limit, right? So somebody else might be there, but I have no choice to do that, but to sign this.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can't believe tears didn't work.
Okay. DHRUVI 6 LLC.
Your Honor, Mr. Venters contacted me this morning and has filed an answer, so I will withdraw my motion for the default. That is it, his answer has been filed. I don't have any objection.
Okay, Cabinet versus Reggie Boff. Is that right? Is this a child support case? What is this?
Judge, this is a divorce case that was transferred here from Rockcastle County in November of 2023.
I don't have a copy of the motion to file. Did you electronically?
Electronically filed it last Thursday.
That's the reason it didn't get in. We'll get a copy.
Judge, you can see my copy. It's a short motion.
Just tell me what it's about.
Judge, it's a motion for contempt. This is a case where there was a findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decree entered in June of 2013. So it's been more than 10 years. These parties have followed a time-sharing schedule for the last 10 years, where she's primary residential custodian. He gets 3 weekends a month due to the distance between the parties. He simply has kept the child and not returned the child to start the spring school year in Clinton County. You know, the child's 15 and a half years old. He's missed the entire first week of school. He's filed nothing to get relief through the court. He's just told her that she's not bringing the child back.
Where does she live?
She lives here.
Where does Tony?
He lives in Rockcastle County.
Does he enroll the child in Rockcastle County School?
He has, but if you read on the.
No, I'm not asking you what to read anything. I'm just asking you a simple
Yes,
question.
Dad.
Okay. Okay, I'd like you to swear your witness and just get some of it. You raise your right hand, man. Your right hand. Your other right hand.
The other right hand.
Yeah, you swear the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can inquire.
Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Gina Ball.
And Ms. Ball, did you go through a divorce case with Tony Ball in Rockcastle County in 2013?
Yes, I did.
And did that case go to a final hearing before the court?
Yes, I did.
And were you awarded primary residential custody of the child at that time?
Yes.
And is there only one child at issue?
Yes.
What's the child's name?
Braden Ball,
And how old is Braden?
15,
Turned 16 next summer.
in July.
Okay, so he's 15 and a half.
Yeah.
What is Mr. Ball's court ordered visitation that you all have followed for the last 10 and a half years?
He gets him the first, second, and third weekend of every month. He is to get him on holidays every other year. His are odd and mine is even. He got him this Christmas because it was an odd year on Christmas Day at lunchtime. He was supposed to return him one day.
Steve,
I'm sorry.
let's get down to what he hasn't done. Now,
He has not returned the child. He was supposed to return our son on Tuesday prior to school starting.
And he has failed to do so.
Yes,
And so the child's missed a week and a half of school.
yes,
Okay. And did your court order grant joint custody between you and Mr. Ball?
yes,
And did it also say that if there was a dispute as to a major decision to be made, that your say would go?
yes,
And have you asked that he bring the child back?
yes,
And has he refused?
yes.
And what reason has he given you?
He says that, he has, grounds of showing physical and mental abuse, I believe.
And is this the first you've ever heard of anything like this?
Yes.
Has there ever been any criminal action filed against you?
No,
what did he say that the abuse was?
he did not tell me.
And is there also an issue with is he on some kind of medication?
Yes, Braden takes allergy shots once a week, and he also on Singulair and Zyrtec, and that has not been given to him.
What's his address?
Mr. Balls,
Yes,
612.
Maria.
Yes, sir.
And are you asking the court to hold him in contempt of violation of the court's order?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking the court to order that the child be returned to you immediately?
Yes, please.
And you have concerns about the child's welfare and safety?
I do.
I think that's all the questions I have.
The child want to stay up there with his dad?
I think they're in the current situation, he's, convinced him to stay.
So the child has expressed to you
No,
How do you know that he wants to stay?
From text.
I can't hear anything with these doors closing or anything, you know.
I apologize, Judge.
No, it's
Through
not your
text.
fault. These closers on these doors don't work like they used to. You know, they used to kind of go. Okay, who told you that he wants to stay up there beside your husband? The father, rather.
That's it.
So you hadn't had the child, you have not had a conversation about.
I have texted him and he has, I've got it on text showing that they. No,
What did he say to you? Either text or calling or phone about staying up there?
He said that he was gonna, that I was to, go home and remain calm and that he
Who's
needed.
this, your son?
No, he was.
I want to know what your son told you about where he wanted to go to school.
Has
Either
not.
by text or phone or email or whatever.
Has not.
So you haven't had a conversation with the child about you're going to Rockcastle County, Mount Vernon School now? Do you want to come back?
Conversation.
Well, let me finish. You want to come back to Clinton County? Did you ask him that?
Yes.
What did he say?
He didn't reply.
Well, so he doesn't want to come back. Is that what you're saying? He doesn't want to come back?
I'm assuming, or he would be here.
What?
I would assume that.
How would he get here?
Well,
He
he was
can't
supposed to have been
drive.
returned.
Do what?
He was supposed to have been returned.
No, I'm talking about your son. If your son wanted to go to school here, how would he get here? He would call you to come get him, or does he have another relative that transport him?
His father would have to take them since he's.
And what if the father, and so you're assuming the father just doesn't want to take him? So the son is undecided about where he wants to go to school?
I'm unaware of that. I can't answer something that I have not spoken with him about.
Have you spoken to the child at all since he didn't?
Through text.
Let me finish my question. Is that okay if I finish my
Yes, sir.
sentence? Have you spoken to the child at all about anything since he didn't return on the date he was supposed to?
It has been very brief and very little, sir.
The answer to that would be yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is how you and I are going to get through this. I ask a question, you respond directly to it. Okay. So you have spoken to him. And what did he say to you? He didn't mention at all that he wasn't back or he wasn't coming back or wanted to stay up there. He didn't mention anything about it. The little boy.
No, sir.
Yeah. Did you ask him?
Yes.
And he just was silent, correct?
His reply was, "Mom, I love you," most of the time, or sending a heart emoji or something of that, or "I'll see you soon."
You have anything else?
No, Your Honor, not as far as questioning, no. No, I
Okay,
would
now
just
you want to
simply-
make an argument?
Yeah, Judge, I mean, as Your Honor is well aware, I mean, there's ways to go about modifying timeshare custody, and the way to go about it is not unilateral define.
Well, I'm thinking that you're entitled to a contempt order. I don't necessarily think it's the best thing to do, but you're entitled to it. There's something else we're not hearing here. I cannot believe that this lady has not had a conversation with that child or the child won't respond. I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. I'm just saying it's hard for me to believe that the child, if he wanted to come back, wouldn't have said something that he wanted to come back, or I'm happy here, then he said nothing. I'm not saying that didn't happen, okay? It's very unusual that it didn't happen. When you contact him and say, "Where are you, Junior? Why aren't you here?" And he doesn't say anything about "I love you." So I don't know if he, but we will find out, I would say, when you get an order and have him to immediately return the child. And you give him till in 24 hours from the day he served with this order to get the child back here. Or he should be found in contempt of court, in order to spend 60 days in jail.
Judge, I'll draft an order and tender it.
Okay. Now, if I find out you're not being completely candid with me, it's not going to be good when I make the ultimate decision. There'll have to be other hearings about this at some juncture because there's some problem here. I don't know what it is. It's his perception of how you're treating the child, which might be all wrong. Okay. Or it's the child's perception of how he's being treated anyway. I want to talk to you about it. That's the reason it's more complicated. You're entitled to this order. I don't necessarily think it's the best way to go. Have you sent him a warning letter to bring the child back or give any other notice other than this motion?
No, Judge, she came to meet with me Thursday and that was the deadline to file.
Well, you might very well get the order to me today. And then I would attempt to make some contact with him and tell him to have the kid back down here tomorrow and have him in school.
And I can definitely have her relay that text message.
Well, I don't
I
really want her to have to relay that to her child. I don't want her to be the one that tells the child he has to come home.
No, I meant to.
I know, but that's the way it will be perceived by the father. Your mother called up here and says, I have to bring, he needs to get a court order from me. And hopefully it won't harm whatever kind of problem you've got with your child. And you got some kind of problem with the child. There's some kind of problem there. I don't know what it is. I hadn't heard it yet, but it's there. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Another judge that I love, but I don't 100% agree with right now. Yes, he did the order, but the bottom line is the father took the son and then never returned the son. And I don't know, as a mother, that wouldn't be okay with me. All 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, that's a hard age for moms and kids. It just is. So I don't know if there's abuse. There's never been any kind of abuse before right now. So I don't know. It should have been clear to me. She gets her son back. But he doesn't believe everything's okay. I don't know. I just don't agree with him. I think it should have been cut and dry. Well, guys, that's all I have for today. We have some judges were the stars of the show today. Yeah, there was fighting and things like that, but the judges, they're usually the stars of the show. I thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get ready for work. And so I won't get any more content today because I'm going to be working unless I cry. And they let me go home. I'm going to try it. JD, I'm going to try it. You say that it won't work for you in court, but maybe it'll work for me at work tonight. Maybe. Or I'll just drink another beer. Thanks for coming out, guys. Have a great day.